What is this called?
Solution.
Let's just stick with this.
Heterogeneous.
Yeah! Heterogeneous what?
Heterogeneous mixture.
Very good.
Yeah.
Heterogeneous mixture, also known as?
Colloid.
Yeah! Very good.
What?
Also known as a colloid. Now, if we look up closely into here, let's look up closely. Let's zoom up. Zooming up. Ready to zoom up? Oh yeah. Zooming up.
Oh yeah.
We find these things. We find different particles. These are the various particles in here. So there's two different types of particles. That's why we call it heterogeneous. Okay? It's a mixture. Right? It's not uniform. Okay, there might be some more over here. There might be some more globs over here. So light hits these various particles differently, and it creates an overall. You can see the path of the light. That's the Tyndall effect. That's how you can tell if something is a heterogeneous mixture.
Because of that Tyndall effect.
All right. Now this light continues on. Okay, it continues on, and it hits this stuff right here. This is going to be. This is going to be sand mixed with, you can see it right here, sand and water. Or you can think of maybe like a smoothie. Okay? So, if you let this thing settle over time, the sand will drift to the bottom. Okay? If you mix it up right quick, the sand will be suspended in that water. Okay? So since it's suspended for a little bit, and then later on it precipitates out. That's what we call it, precipitates out. So it falls to the bottom. You can see the solids at the bottom. We call this whole thing, what do we call it? Yes, but more specifically, suspension. Perfect.
Doesn't it block the light, something like that?
Yeah, totally blocks the light. Boom, blocks light.
I'm confused about
This is a heterogeneous mixture, but more specifically, it's a suspension, aka suspension. This is a different kind of heterogeneous mixture. There's two different kinds. You see that, Mark? Mark! Woo-hoo. Right here. We got heterogeneous mixtures. Both of these are heterogeneous mixtures, but this one's called a suspension. This one's called a colloid. If you zoom up on this one, it looks different than this one. Let's see what it looks like. It looks totally different. You got huge chunks of stuff floating around. This stuff is sand and bits of dirt. Okay? It totally blocks the light. A smoothie totally blocks the light. You can't shine a... Don't just shake your head. It totally blocks the light.
I can. It's too much aggro.
You'll see it again and again and again. You can watch it again and again and again. Okay? Okay, so that's the different types of matter on the mixture side.
When it reaches 20, can I give it to somebody else?
Sure.
I have pictures with my phone.
Well, this is going to be a video,
Okay.
so you can watch it on there. Okay? So these are just the mixtures. There's also substances, or a substance, which would be, what would that be? It would be an element or a compound. Okay? Elements are just single atoms stuck together. Identical atoms, I should say. Identical atoms that are stuck together. Compounds are two different atoms stuck together. Okay? That's a substance. Yeah?
Can you explain the mixture credit problem on that?
That's...
What is it?
No, you didn't. Nobody got that right.
Didn't John Gregory?
You put a smile by mine because I said it had to be really big.
Yeah, that was funny.
No, mine was the best answer.
Magic happens. If you're really curious, I'll talk to you about that afterwards because this is more for everybody to be reviewing. Okay, but yeah, it's a hard question. Okay, any question?
On the test for matter, are you just gonna ask us questions, and it's like either true or false or something kind of thing? Like what kind of questions for matter are we asked?
Yeah. What kind of questions am I going to ask for matter? I'm going to ask you questions that are like multiple choice. I'll also be something where you have to like fill in the blank, that sort of thing.
No.
So I could say something like, I don't know, Tommy found something in his garage that when he turned on the light, he saw the path of light go through it. What kind of thing is in Tommy's garage? What kind of type of matter is in Tommy's garage? And then you just tell me, oh, that's a colloid. I know that.
How's it a colloid?
Because the light goes through.
That's the only one that shows a Tyndall effect.
So you can also
We just established it.
You can also write heterogeneous mixture too, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Can you go over like density calculations and stuff?
Sure. Density calculations. You have a small question?
Yeah, it's like one way on that.
Okay.
Are that two different like exact things, but are they
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Each honors in general class, they have their separate exams. In those separate exams, there are two different types. Okay? So there's two versions for each class. Okay. So let's talk about, what was the last thing we wanted to talk about? Oh yes, density calculations. These things are pretty easy. But honors, I gave you guys a really hard question that you had to use. No, it was the other one.
Oh yeah, that was hard.
So density, you know what the formula for density is? There it is, mass over volume. Harris, if you're going to be part of this, you're going to have to pay attention, otherwise you can leave. Okay? There's no reason you have to be talking here.
I have a question.
Now, hold on just 1 second. I'm going to go through this really quickly, and then I'll answer your question. I promise, Mark. Mark, I promise.
Alright.
Now, for every single density calculation question, I'll give you at least two of these things up here. Okay? So I'll give you, let's say, this, and you'll have to find volume. Or maybe I'll give you this, and you'll have to find density. Or maybe I'll give you this, and you'll have to find mass.
Yeah, can you show
I
me
expect that you'll be able to just do the minimum algebra to find the missing one.
Can
Okay?
you show? 'Cause I got that wrong.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Is that your only question? What was the other question?
For colloid, you said. What do you mean suspended huge particles?
I mean large particles that are suspended that you can see. Like grains of sand. Like chunks of fruit in a smoothie.
And it has a Tyndall effect?
It does that. It blocks the light. Suspension blocks the light.
Define volume, right? So we have to divide by density, right?
Yeah. So let's do that. That's the hardest one. Let's say you have density and you have mass. I'm just going to abbreviate these D, M, and V. The worst place ever.
Was I correct? Divide.
D, M, V.
Find mass, multiply.
Now, let's do it. Let's walk through it. We've got D equals M over V. So we want to solve for V. We want V by itself. Right? Is that what I think? Okay. So, to do that, you multiply both sides by V. So that'll get you this. It'll be, oh my gosh. It'll be V times D equals M by itself. Okay? Now, hold on, I just did one operation. Now I want to get V by itself, so I divide both sides by D.
Can you actually use like numbers?
No.
Please, like numbers.
So, here we go. M divided by D, there it is, equals volume.
Alright, so first step, you cancel it out, right? You get V, right?
Yes.
So that's 1. And V times D, VD, equal M. Divide both sides by D, right?
D, yeah, so that'll cross off as D. And it'll just, the final thing will be V equals M.
Wait.
So, can you just put like a number there? So I
Okay,
can understand?
yes, I'll put
The
numbers.
second part.
So let's say you've got a density of 5. And you've got a mass of 2. Okay? Actually, I'm going to make it a little bit easier. So I have a density of 4. You've got a mass of 8. Okay? 8 grams, and this is grams over milliliters. What is the volume? That's what you want to know. Okay? So 4 equals 8 over V. We don't know what the V is. We want to find out what V is. Please tell me what V is. Can you tell me?
Multiply by V.
Oh, 2.
Good.
Wrong.
Now, some of you might be able just to look at this. But let's walk through this, okay? Now I'm going to multiply both sides by V. What does that do? It crosses off V. You got this, John?
Yeah, but
Oh, yeah. So we got V and 4. Yeah, 4V. I'm going to stick with the red. 4 times V equals, I'm still have grams over milliliters, equals what? 8G. Oh, I'm sorry. These are going to be in milliliters.
Why can't you just put 4V?
Okay. So we got 4V over here. Okay. I'm just keeping the units with us. Okay.
Nope. I'm lost. I can't. I don't see what you did. You multiply by V. And then,
Yes.
And then what does it become? 4V, 4G, ML.
4V equals.
That's just the units. Like,
Those are just the units coming along for the ride. Okay. Now we've got this. Now I want to divide both sides by 4. I'm going to do 4 grams per milliliter. Divide this one by 4 grams per milliliter. Okay. I'm just keeping the units. If the units confuse you, you can ignore the units right now. Okay. So all I've done is divide both sides now by 4. So finally, the V is going to equal
so you cross it.
the V
4
in milliliters.
2.
Equals 8 divided by 4. Okay? And this entire thing, the G's are going to cancel out, so it's going to be in milliliters. Okay?
So 2 milliliters.
Exactly. So the final answer is 2. 2 milliliters.
Alright, I have a question. So after you multiply by V to both sides, it becomes 40. V equals 4G. I don't know.
What?
Stop putting the camera on.
Mark. I've just multiplied both sides by by V on both sides. See that?
Yeah.
Because it was 8 over V.
Yeah.
Okay? Now we got V times 4. So I divide by 4 so I can get V by itself. That's all I'm trying to do. Okay? So now it's V equals 8 divided by 4. Okay?
You
That
can
makes
check
sense?
it too.
Yeah.
And with mass, you'll do the same thing, but just with pen.
Yes. Math is easier. It's just a one-step process. This is the longest process that you can have. Yeah, and then you can plug this back in to check it. Mark, hey, you asked so many questions that are great questions, but you don't pay attention half the time. Here we go. We've got 2 right here. If you put the 2 back in here, it should get you 4. Does it?
Oh, yeah.
It does.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Any other questions? Lawrence?
So you said like centimeters cubed equals a milliliter.
Yeah.
Is there what is like the gram? Is it grams cubed equal or like because let's say you give us a question to get grams like then you have to do mass times volume equals grams. Would you like ever do that? Because you know what I mean? Like you would give a question to ask for what the mass of the object is.
Yeah.
Would you ever give one to ask what the weight? I mean, wait. I'm getting confused on the question. Like you know how density is mass over volume, right?
Right.
And so then you'd ask a question to get the volume, which is mass over density. Then would you ever ask a question to get mass?
Oh. I think I see what you got.
And
That?
if you
Good.
and if you did, what would the units be? Because
If you, so you're saying, if I want you to find mass, and I give you volume and density?
yeah. Would you ever do that or no?
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
I mean, if I give you 2 of these, then you should be able to find the other one. Now, I might ask you then, like I did in the quiz, I might say, okay, so that was the density for